Hi, I'm Sarah Drysdale, COO and Head of Product and Cyber at CommBox. And today I welcome you to CommBox HQ on Garigal Country. I am really excited to introduce you to the CommBox Neo Interactive Neo today. And I really want you to stay all the way to the end of the webinar, because if you do, you'll enter the draw for a brand new Neo for your office. So let's get started. All right. Hello, Ellie. So today I'm joined by Ellie, the product manager for the Neo.
Hello.
And Ellie, today, what's one of the key message we really want to share with all our incredible resellers at the far end is to keep it with CommBox. So it doesn't matter what the situation is, if there's an interactive screen needed, we have the two most perfect screens for every situation. But today we're talking about Neo, and I think to do that, we need to go right back to the beginning. We need to start the story in 2024. So in 2024, before you joined, the Classic S4 was out in market and it was going great. And I kind of liken the Classic to a pair of R.M. Williams boots. Australian designed, beautiful, feature-rich, and incredible value. And at CommBox, we have a product philosophy around good, better, best. So it was time for us to start working on what I would call the Blundstone version of interactive screens. And that turned into the CommBox Atom. But in classic Sarah style, as I was working with our hardware engineers and designers, every time they asked me what chipset, I'm like, oh, I want this one. And I'll have this better glass and I'll have this better touch system. And so all of a sudden, the Atom went from being a pair of Blundstone boots to being a pair of country road boots. And so what implications did that have when we brought the Atom to market?
Yes, so that meant that we had the country road boots and the R.M. Williams, two fabulous products, our Atom and S4, out in market at the same time. That meant that they were feature rich, they're really great quality, and it's really hard to kind of, sell one over the other because they were both at, the top of their game. And it meant that, that we were missing a bit of a trick. We didn't go to that good, better stage. We were up there with the best.
100%. I mean, that's the thing. Anyone that's got an Atom, absolutely scored.
Fabulous screen.
And at the end of the day, that's always the challenge as product managers. We don't have a crystal ball. Every product we put out in market is a little bit of an experiment to see how it's going to go. But we learned quick. We discovered that we started to work on it and we were having different versions. And I think what I was really struggling with personally, and I know you're the same as me, we fundamentally agree that a user should not be tethered to a screen. Their device shouldn't have to be connected all the time. And so the first few iterations, that was the case. And also the annotation was terrible. And do you remember when you first arrived, what that was like to walk into the lab?
Yeah, so obviously we come from having the Atom. As I first started, the Atom was launching, fabulous, as I say, product. The S4 was already out in market, and now comes along these samples of non-OS screens and jagged writing, not able to connect. It's sort of, it was a step back. It was not where we needed to be. So we worked on it.
Yeah, it definitely was not the CommBox vibe. At the same time, actually, we're working with our CommBox crew, which includes end users from across industries, including our secure agencies. And we were starting to realize, because this is our screen designed specifically for those environments, that there were certain ports and things that we needed to do really to make sure that it could go into the very highest level of security. And so what did we discover as we work with our hardware engineers and designers on that?
So when it comes to ports, they're not all built the same, and they're not all friends either. So when you're building a screen, you don't just get to pick from a menu of I want this and I want that. They all kind of need to work together in the ecosystem that they're in. So when it came to putting the ports on there were certain ports that we just had to have for secure agencies because they were the most secure and that's what they need. So we just had to have them in there. But we eventually got to what we wanted. Yeah.
So the Neo is actually not a pair of Kmart boots. It's actually finally our Blundstone boots. Tell me what's unique about the Neo. What really sets it apart from every other non-OS out there?
So I think what we got to was a really exciting screen. So when it comes to a non-OS, it doesn't have an operating system, so it can't be too exciting. But this one, this one actually is. And it was so exciting that when we unboxed it, I took selfies with the screen because I was so excited as product manager that we'd worked so hard, we'd crafted this piece of software and hardware out of nothing, out of, well, not out of nothing, out of all of the feedback that we'd gotten, out of all of the information that we had. Um, and what we did end up creating and unboxing, and I sat on the floor and took selfies of, um, was the Neo in its current form. So what makes it that little bit different is that it does have some functionality built in. It does have a very simplistic whiteboard. So it's nothing compared to the S5 whiteboard, all of that features and bells and whistles, but it has a really fabulous, simple whiteboard that teachers are going to love. If you want to draw a mind map up there, if you want to write up every word that rhymes with Neo, um, you know, simple whiteboarding is what it's got in there. It also has simple annotation too. So it doesn't matter what input you're on, you can annotate over the top of it. And I don't think any other no OS screen out there has that. And what makes it really good and what makes us really happy is that it does have an Ethernet port, which means that we're able to get a version of CommBox Connect on there. And we're able to wirelessly screen share when it is plugged into the Ethernet.
And so we touched on before secure agencies. So the Neo actually can be configured quite a few different ways. Yeah. So how about we take our resellers through those options?
So the first version is the Neo Core. So that's what you're seeing behind us now. That has the whiteboarding, the annotation, CommBox Connect. It has a range of ports, all of them expertly crafted that we finally put in there. So that's what we think is going to be a really great solution for education. It is simple in its design, but it covers off the key elements that you might want. Great for people who are new to interactive, great for people that are switching out from a projector perhaps. And then we move into our hardened edge version. So this is a different version of the firmware where we don't have the whiteboarding and annotation. We've locked the Ethernet port off so you can't have CommBox Connect either. So it is a little bit more hardened, but it is perfect for pairing with a Teams Room device or a Zoom Room device. So fabulous for enterprise, and it still has that interactivity. So, you can still get into Windows Ink, you can still move the screen around. And then we jump into the big guns. Then we go into our hardened Max version. Now, this version has the firmware so locked down that it is only certain ports are open. Only the most secure ports that have been requested by our secure agencies are open. It also has, and I'm going to pass this over to you in a minute.
Yes, while you go grab your toys. Excellent. And I'll hold it for you.
Thank you. Cheers. So it also has these port covers. So not only are they locked in the firmware, they are locked physically with these port covers as well. And maybe I'll get you to hold that for me. They go over the ports, cover any port that might be open, except for, as I say, the most secure ones that we want. And they screwed into the bezel. They then get covered with these security stickers as well. They leave a little bit of residue behind. Well, quite a lot of residue behind. So you know that it has been tampered with. So again, for our most secure agencies, super secure and lockdown version. And of course, all with non-audio versions as well.
Yeah. So there's so much flexibility there. So I guess it's time for us to do a little bit of a recap. So the Neo is absolutely for education. It's for those moments where the teachers aren't experienced with interactive. They may be switching from projectors, as you said, and the IT manager just wants to keep it simple. So tick. You have the Neo for that. Then for enterprise and business, how would someone use the Neo?
So it could really go into any meeting room. So it is ready, is VC enabled. It's great, simple interactivity. You don't need to log into it. All easy to plug in.
So, for our resellers out there, if you sell Microsoft Teams room devices, Zoom rooms, or Cisco WebEx, absolutely think about pairing the Neo with it so that they can take advantage of the whiteboarding functionality that's built into those devices. And then, of course, secure agencies, tick, tick, tick. This is absolutely the screen for them. So, thank you, Ellie. It's now time for me to hand over to our incredible marketing team.
It is marketing time. Ben and I are going to run through a few assets that we've got available for you. I'm Leah, Partnerships Marketing Manager here at CommBox, and with me I have.
I'm Ben, Digital and Product Marketing Manager at CommBox. So we're going to be covering some of the points that Ellie and Sarah have covered, but just to get a quick sort of succinct, quick test on them. So cybersecurity, it's at the heart of everything CommBox does, and it's definitely at the heart of the CommBox Neo. Built for defense, no OS, no Wi-Fi. Simple features. You've got your basic whiteboarding, annotation, and screen sharing. It's still CommBox quality. It's still a high quality interactive screen. 4K, 40 points of touch. It's a lovely screen to write on. And 20-watt speakers there as well. So from a marketing point of view, Neo is the simple, secure, interactive display, OS free, simple to use, easy to deploy. A quick rule of thumb, I understand this might not apply to every single situation, but it's a quick little tester for you. Are they mainly working from a laptop? Probably Neo. If they're a bit more of a power user, a bit more used to interactive, they're working from the panel, probably S5. And here we have the lovely Neo out in the world, some lovely in-situs there that you can find in our Unbox portal. So, final thing from me, keep it CommBox. You no longer need to introduce a second brand to meet a lower price point. Neo is our prize fighter. Price fighter? Price fighter. With CommBox S5 as the premium and Neo, the more accessible option, you can cover more opportunities without stepping outside CommBox. So keep it CommBox and quote Neo. Handing over to Leah.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. So we just really wanted to reiterate here that the key thing to understand with the Neo is that it is not a cheap screen. That wasn't the purpose. This wasn't an afterthought. The purpose is it's the same CommBox hardware that we're known for, the same level of security. And what this actually means is that now you have clear options when positioning CommBox. So for the S5, that's your premium, full product set, full feature set. And now that you've got the Neo, which is still secure, it's got a great feature set there too, and is a really great interactive display option. So the marketing machine here at CommBox has been working really hard at creating some great assets that you, our resellers, can use in your sales toolkit when talking to your end users. You may have seen some of these in Unboxed already if you've got access, but we've got some fantastic cheat sheets. We've got all of the great social posts that have been going out via LinkedIn lately. If you can reshare those, that would be great. Our website, live with Neo content at the moment. We've got some fantastic marketing overlay graphics that you can use for your own materials and your marketing. And then also keep your eyes out for Unboxed. We've got a lot of new assets and announcements coming out regularly so that you can always keep it across the latest Neo content. So we've kind of designed this to be a bit of a Neo ecosystem here. So we've kind of covered everything. We've got the website. We've got product-led flyers, Ben. We have got Neo versus Projector for education, Neo versus Projector for business. We've got some fantastic video content that hopefully CommBox are known for. We've got our Neo Sizzle videos. We've got some great social content, our training and enablement videos as well. And then we will also have today's recording available in Unboxed for you to watch at a later stage. Coming soon, case studies, and we've got a great Neo playbook, which is really there to help you specify Neo for any tenders that you're positioning, and also really helps you frame Neo for meeting rooms and other spaces that you might be looking at. Cheat sheets, how to connect, and then also, as Ben showed you before, we've got plenty of product in situs for both education and business that you can leverage. You might recognize some familiar faces here, the talent of CommBox. We've got plenty of Neo videos, which you may have already seen online. What we've done here is create really short, sharp feature sets on just to highlight, where the Neo works, where it plays well. So if you haven't had a great viewing pleasure of mine and Ben's acting skills, please jump onto LinkedIn and have a look and reshare. We also have our full webinar from our November Resellers Ignite webinar, which we did a very high level introduction of Neo. So that content's also available in Unboxed. Coming to Unboxed this week, we've got some brand new Neo assets for you to enjoy. We've got a Neo unboxing video that is coming. We've also got a very detailed Neo demo video, not a demo video, a demo video. And we will also have today's webinar available for watching later. So speaking of Unboxed, if you haven't already got access and enjoying all the assets that we're sharing, please jump onto our website. There's a request login section here. Just fill in the form and that will get you straight in. Then you'll be able to access all of the Neo content, collateral, plus everything else CommBox centric. So that's it from me and Ben today. Just a reminder to please make sure to stay to the end because we are giving away a 65-inch Neo, which is very exciting. And with that, I am going to throw over to Natalie Tubman. She's our head of customer in New Zealand Pacific Islands. That's going to give us a little bit of a chat around Goanna and our AI pen. Over to you, Nat.
Gosh, you guys, you really are the talent of CommBox, I swear. How am I meant to go after you? So hi everybody. So like Leah said, I am head of customer here in New Zealand and look after New Zealand and the Pacific Islands. So what I'm going to sort of talk to you about is about how we have already managed to have success with the rollout of our Goanna firmware that was released at the beginning of this year, how that's impacted the industry and our end users. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of a chat through the AI functionality and the pen that has been hugely successful. So, but first off, Goanna. So, like I said, this was released at the beginning of this year, and it is unbelievably packed with a huge amount of features. Now, if you have been one of the ones that have been lucky enough to have all of your screens updated, you'll know that it does take a little while to download and get it all set up because it is that packed. Now, from what I get to do with my role, I'm with the end users quite often and with resellers, I get to see all the excitement that there is around these new features. Things like the autofill function. So people not having to stand in front of their screens, writing in usernames and passwords over and over again. I mean, it's unbelievably frustrating when you have to do it. So having the autofill function has been a huge game changer for our end users. Another one is the features that have come out in the whiteboard as well. So not only have we got new writing to text function, so that's been something that's been asked for a lot, particularly in the education sector, whereby people want the font that is relevant to their state or for their curriculum. That is now available. There's a lot of smiley faces when you actually talk about that. It seems simple, but sometimes it's the simplest things that make the huge difference. Also additional features like some more backgrounds within the whiteboard, some more posters within the whiteboard, and some built-in AI. So some of the additions within the AI toolkit are things like translation. So obviously we're multicultural, diverse countries, both of us. We've got a range of different backgrounds in our meeting rooms and in our classrooms. We've now got the ability to write things up and circle it and then translate it into multiple different languages. So that has been a huge benefit already. So our Goanna with our new features has been a hit. Basically, I don't think I could think of another way to actually explain it. It has been a hit. So the next part that I want to talk to you about is this little beauty, our AI pen. Now, we have got some success stories over in New Zealand, with some very big customers jumping onto our AI pen and bundle license already. Now, this is because they trust CommBox. They love the fact that we're innovative and that we are ahead of the curve when it comes to things like this. Now, I'm down here in Christchurch at the moment, and I've been talking to lots of different people around the use of AI. Now, everyone knows that AI is just being used anywhere and everywhere now. 18 months ago, it wasn't necessarily the case. Everyone was still a little bit hesitant, particularly in education, around the safety behind AI and about how to use it appropriately and how to prompt it well. So when CommBox actually jumped on to creating this AI toolkit, which is embedded into the S5 Goanna firmware, they knew straight away that all of the testing would have been done and it will be safe. So the key things that we have seen from one of our biggest end users over here in New Zealand, which is St Kentigern College, they have got the AI pen up and running in their schools. So they have got several S5s across the campuses. They've got 3 different campuses. And key things that they have been using this AI for is live subtitles. Now, that makes a huge difference when you have got people from different backgrounds in one room, particularly in schools. So we can actually be standing there delivering a lesson, talking to people, and actually have the live subtitles up on the screen whilst we're talking. And it's perfect. It's absolutely brilliant. And you can change it into multiple different languages as well. So that is one thing that really tickled their fancy around the AI. The next one is the Ask AI. Now, if any of you who are on the call now are ex-educators like myself, you always do get some curly questions from some delightful ones in your classroom. Now, they might be those particular questions that usually you'd go, oh, that's a really good question. Why don't you go and find out about that at lunchtime and come back? With this AI, these teachers in St Kent's can actually just grab their pen, press down the microphone, and ask the question straight away into the pen. And it will come up on the screen with an analysis. It'll give them pictures. It'll give them YouTube clips. So it just means that flow of learning is continuous now. We're not stopping. If you do work in the education sector, you will know that the biggest thing that teachers hate is downtime. Because what are kids doing when you are trying to fix something? They're doing everything that we really don't want them to be doing. So for St Kitts, even just those 2 features alone, I mean, they've still utilising another 4 different apps within their school, but just those 2 alone have been massively game-changing for them. So the other thing that I do want to just quickly touch on is I just do want to do a shout out to one of our other end users. Her name is Jordan Shellcris. You may have seen her on Instagram. She has been using the AI pen and license bundle in her classroom. She's in a primary school setting. And she said the kids have just been flourishing. She said the type of language that they're now using, the types of questions that they're actually asking the AI to present information back to. She said it's just outrageous. Like a lot of these students, she wouldn't have heard anything from for the first few weeks of school. So you can see just how much the use of this AI within these screens can make a difference, no matter what sector you are in. So for me, that's how the real world application of all of this outstanding CommBox development and what that looks like. And that's why you don't need to go anywhere else. You've got Neo now, you've got S5, and you've got Goanna, and with all the AI packed into it. So for me, I think, Sarah, I'm going to pass it back to you now and let you wrap everything up.
Great. Thank you, Nat. I'm just going to invite the CommBox team to come back in just while we wrap up. So, Ellie, how cool was it that Apple copied our name for the Neo? And I truly do think that an Apple MacBook Neo is the perfect pair with a CommBox Interactive Neo. So for those of you out there that saw those 2 products, I really do think that they're the perfect pair. And I really want to thank the CommBox team today for pulling together this webinar. As always, they've done an incredible job. And particularly to you, Ellie, thank you so much for bringing such an incredible product to market. I'm very proud of you. And for those that want to come and see the Neo, you can come and see it in the CommBox Experience Centre here in Sydney, the CommBox Experience Centre in Brisbane, Blue Chip in Port Melbourne, or Blue Chip in WA. So please, if you want to know more about the Neo, obviously check out Unbox, but also reach out to your CommBox account manager who can help arrange that or give you more information. So thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for your time. Make sure you check out our socials to see who wins that brand new interactive Neo. And I think that's a wrap, guys. Bye for now.